2, 3. This is my show. I ain't got no music. Yeah. Copyright.
What year is this? At first I just thought they had a classic car, but the other car looked old too. No, this is contemporary. You can tell by their clothes. And that must have been his dream come true.
Dangerous in what way?
Bob, that goes too far.
This racist propaganda, this Mein Kampf psychobabble? He learned this nonsense, Murray, and he can unlearn it too. I will not give up on this child yet.
You know, when I was in the army, actually, no, I misspoke. I wasn't in the army. I was a defense contractor working with the army, and I worked with many uniformed operators. And there was someone who was attending classes, and he wrote a report like this report is being depicted. I guess I haven't seen this, but it was I mean, it was such a long time ago. It was something like it. I don't want to disrespect the person by misrepresenting what he was trying to say, but the title was along the lines of um, um, the Civil War wasn't necessary to end the institution of slavery, and some other thoughts that he had on it. And it was I reacted to it I reacted to that report's presence at our workplace pretty negatively, and it was widely believed that that report, that essay was left so I could find it. And just in watching this scene, it reminds me of that whole thing. But anyway, I'm going to continue the movie.
5, 4, 3, 2, shut the door.
Nowadays, I wouldn't shut that door.
What's what gonna be?
This petty crap you're pulling.
I don't know.
Have a seat. How you doing?
Fine.
Things at home okay?
Yeah?
Derek got out this morning, did he not?
Yeah, he did.
He was one of my students. You knew that, right? Honors English. He was a brilliant student. Like you. But he hung out with simple-minded fools. Also, like you.
Look, Sweeney, did you bring me in here to talk about Derek? Because what happened to him has nothing to do with me.
Everything you do right now has something to do with Derek.
Look, I followed directions. I wrote an A paper.
Mein Kampf? I should expel you.
Go ahead. What, you don't think I could handle it?
No, I think the street would kill you. Your rhetoric and your propaganda aren't going to save you out there. So here's the drill.
Okay, I don't know what I thought I was doing starting this movie without my notebook. I gotta, hold on. Hold on. This one's gonna be good. This one's gonna be good.
I'm your history teacher from now on. We will discuss current events. We will call this class American History X. I'll be the only one reading it. But if it's not on my desk tomorrow morning, you are a ghost at Venice Beach High. Are you clear?
Yeah, I'm clear.
I'm not so sure Edward Furlong is pulling this off. Sorry about the commercials. I'm watching this on Tubi.
Want some too, bitch? Huh? What's wrong with you? You wanna die? Punk.
This morning we have
Yeah, sorry, I'm not saying much, right? I gotta bring it all in. Taking notes.
Let's go.
I'm sorry. This is very well made. I'm entertained, but the music is odd. It's like Indiana Jones just picked up the thing that's going to the museum. The suspense is killing me.
You calling me a blimp, you fucking Democrat?
When was the last time you were actually able to see your feet?
Oh my goodness, it's Kess from
Come
Voyager.
in here, Danny.
Star Trek is all over this thing.
Oh man, I'm not in the mood. I got homework to do.
Tell me some of the shit you've learned, fuck ass, before I pistol whip you.
Okay. I believe in death, destruction, chaos, filth, and greed.
Cut the shit, Dan. Come on. Tell me what I want to hear. Look at this hair. Holy shit.
Man, I told him it's gotta go.
Good to have you back. Grab your jacket. Let's get the
That was a good natural line.
Hey, listen. Did you pull some kind of shit in school today?
No, just the usual.
I'm telling you, man, this kid is awesome as hell.
Did you turn in a paper on Mein Kampf?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, man,
awesome.
you should've-
He probably
man,
shit his
He
pants.
did, man. He was so
Is that your
fucking
idea, or
pissed.
did Cameron put you up to that? Did he tell you to do that?
No, man, I thought it would be cool.
I'm telling you, man, this
How'd
kid
you
is
know, though?
smart. This
How did you
kid's a
know anything?
genius.
Doesn't matter how I knew.
This kid is smart as hell.
I gotta be careful.
Yeah, I know. We'll see you back at the house then.
Right. Good luck.
He sent Derek to the kids, to the frustrated ones, the ones who are sick of getting their asses kicked by black and Mexican gangs. Don't just be some punk, be part of something.
All right, let's go. Pull it together.
And everybody ate it up. They did whatever Derek told them to.
Hey, let's go. Come on, we're not here to fucking socialize. Weed is for niggers. Put that away right now. We need to open our eyes. There's over 2 million illegal immigrants bedding down in this state tonight. This state spent $3 billion last year on services for those people who had no right to be here in the first place. $3 billion. $400 million just to lock up a bunch of illegal immigrant criminals who only got into this country because the fucking INS decided it's not worth the effort to screen for convicted felons. Who gives a shit? Our government doesn't give a shit. And on the sidelines, quietly standing there while our country gets raped? Are we gonna ante up and do something about it? Yeah! You're goddamn right we are. Don't you know it's against the...
the riots in Chicago in '68.
That's crap. I don't buy that for a minute. Calling a riot an irrational expression of rage, that's such a cop-out. It's opportunism at its worst. It's a bunch of people grabbing any excuse they can find to go and loot a store. Nothing more. You know, the fact that these people ripped off the stores in their own communities, all that reflects is the degree to which these people have absolutely no respect for the law at all, and certainly no concept of, like, community or civic responsibility. Run to your fucking kite! Go run to him!
No, it's been a while since I've said something, but I mean, you guys have seen the movie, man. I haven't seen it before. Whoa, just, I'm already thinking a little bit about summing this up at the end of the movie, and there are already things politically I can't even say. And they're not what you're thinking.
In my mind, I imagine what would have happened if I hadn't gone to that room and told her.
Now say goodnight.
I remember when the whole reporting for skinheads hit prominence in the 90s. This is the imagery that I remember associating this group with back then.
He's a manipulative, self-righteous Uncle Tom. He's trying to make you feel guilty about writing about Adolf Hitler. Yeah, some nigger.
I don't think he's using Uncle Tom right, but I guess I can't really be surprised.
I'm not doing anything.
Come on, there's this little blonde girl
Man,
sitting out there.
Furlong is definitely...
She's dying. Come on.
I'm not going to let him take me out of the story.
And take it easy.
I fucking hate you, Dare.
All right.
Oof.
I mean it.
Huh?
Oof.
Come on. Shut up. Take it easy.
Please tell us. Thank you. Appreciate it. How much time do we have left? Okay. This movie kind of defies genre, right? It's not exactly in 3 acts. I like that.
Side with them boys, you know.
You're kidding, right?
No, he's not kidding.
I'm getting sick of it, man. There's a lot of fucking hard talk around here and not a lot of follow through.
I think you better chill out on the preaching bullshit, okay? We're getting a little tired of that shit around here.
Yep. Man, that's real. That is real. Ideology versus the profit motive, man. Ideology versus the profit motive. Man, there is a lot in this movie. There is a lot.
He was taking it from the Mexicans and dealing it out to his own people.
Oof.
He didn't believe in shit. None of them did.
My man about to learn a real bad lesson.
All that aggression on you. All guys know that, man. That's that good sex. That's that pow, pow, pow. Let her get on top, and she's gonna punish you first, right?
Hey,
You've been a
even
bad
I want
boy,
to tell him
huh?
to shut up.
You've been a bad boy.
That doesn't make sense. No, you didn't get 6 years for stealing a TV, man. Come on.
I go in the store, I come out, the police officer grabs my arm, the TV falls on his foot and breaks it. They said I threw the TV at the officer. So, 6 years.
Come on, tell the truth. You chucked it at him or something.
Oh no. I might have to do some skippage here.
How is it? Only took 6 stitches.
Put in a word for him.
I already have. So you're out there then what?
I don't want to fuck up my family anymore. I'll go fuck.
I wonder if this movie would have hit a little bit harder if it was just told in chronological order.
What's he got you reading? We got this essay exam on this book, Native Son. All in this one book.
Native Son, what's that? I don't know that.
Well, that's a big surprise.
What, I read? What?
Oh, I gotta make a note about this.
Nothing, it's just, it's everywhere I look now.
We're talking about books here, but I'm also talking about my job. I got 2 black guys on my squad now who got their job over a couple of white guys who actually scored higher in the test.
Man, I haven't said anything. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this video. The imagery of water washing it away. He told his brother that he didn't know how he fell for it, almost like he blocked out what his father said. I don't know. I don't like thinking about this stuff on the fly. I have to really sit down and write it out.
It's 5:40 a.m. and about 1 minute, I'm gonna watch the sun come up. Maple bar and a large milk.
So the movie has already had an ending, so now we're looking for a second ending, and yeah, I got a feeling of dread for sure.
Maple bar and a large. All right, I'm gonna take him to school. I'll be back in a half an hour.
Man, Norton is acting circles around the rest of the cast.
Phew, putting in overtime on this one.
I think today is the 5th of January, 2025. I don't know when I'm going to be able to finish this video because I want to say I have a lot to say, but I don't know what it is. It can't be. First of all, I didn't say anything during the reaction. It wasn't even a reaction. So I have to say it all now and put my thoughts together on it. But I can say right now that I'm glad I saw it finally. I have heard about the movie, but not a lot. I only knew that hate was one of the main themes of the movie, and I knew that Ed Norton's character had some kind of change of heart, but that was all I knew. Now I've seen it, and I'll see you in a second. I want to talk about a few things, and since it's lengthy and you might not care about all of these aspects, I'll place some visual timestamps as I list them. First, the filmmaking. I want to talk about the performances and how the story was told visually. Next, I want to talk about an aspect of how our culture transmits our values to young people, specifically the things that we want them to avoid. Then I want to talk about what I thought was the boldest and gutsiest part of the film, the decision to not depict all Black Americans as saintly victims. And finally, what I thought might have been a cop-out at the end of an otherwise bold movie. Okay, the filmmaking. The visual trick of putting flashbacks in black and white is super effective. It goes right along with the theme of the film. Derek's past thinking was rigid, black and white, and his present thinking is more nuanced. But I'll talk more about that in a different part of the review. In general, I think Edward Norton carries this movie that's full of an otherwise weak main cast. As a Star Trek guy, I was never a huge fan of Avery Brooks' theatrical skills in the Star Trek Deep Space Nine series. It's a Star Trek geek irony that William Shatner is more famous for his overacting during his time in that franchise, when Avery Brooks is actually more guilty of it. Also, after knowing a little more about the actor himself and his admirable civil rights work inspired by his father, it seems that both Captain Benjamin Sisko and Principal Sweeney are essentially just extensions of Avery Brooks himself. Admirable man, yes. Versatile actor, not so much. I'll give credit to the casting director. You know, they got the exact character that they wanted without having to pay for, like Lawrence Fishburne. But Principal Sweeney didn't have that many scenes. Edward Furlong did. Furlong's inability to act naturally only served him in early scenes where his character was trying to be something that he wasn't. For example, that early scene in the bathroom, the school bathroom, I interpreted that performance as someone who was scared out of his mind, but is smart enough not to act like it because that's what the situation called for. Looking back, if he actually was not afraid because he hadn't yet gotten Derek's revelation, that was a bad performance. I'll credit the casting director again for Fairuza Balk. Typecast for her uncanny look from The Craft to Almost Famous, I've seen this actress hold up her end of the bargain in any cast that she was a part of. Now let's get to the movie's themes. I want to talk about an aspect of how our culture transmits values to young people, specifically the things that we want them to avoid. The introduction of Principal Sweeney's and the school's reaction to Danny's paper on this man's manifesto. YouTube is so stupid. It brings up interesting talking points for me. The principal angrily discards Danny's hate speech paper and talks about my struggle, that's the name of the book, as if everyone just knows it's an inherently evil work. Allow me to preach. Look, I get it. There's a general fear that evil will win if so-called good people don't meet it with quick, decisive resolve, even force. I submit that any reasonable thinking person would conclude that so-called evil things, unethical things, are generally self-defeating. It doesn't take a lot of imagination or projection to see that if evil is allowed to go on, it will eventually bear out that it wasn't the way to go. I guess the real complaint is that it just takes too darn long for enough people to realize that, and we want to do something about it now. We want to stop it now. But in my opinion, you don't stop negative cultural values from being transmitted to young people by emotionally showing how much you fear the concept. In my experience, young people tend to see that emotional fear and irrational action as proof that the evil concept might have some meritorious truth to it. After all, if it's so wrong, why did it strike such a nerve, the youth might ask. No, you stop negative values from being transmitted by living a principled life, showing the practical, real-world advantages of the opposite positive value. See, rational people should be able to say to the youth, why do we need hate? We have it so good over here where the hate is low. More on that in a second. But then you can see why so many people take that emotional route. It's easier to get angry and yell at the top of your lungs that something is evil. It's harder to live a principled life and avoid hypocrisy, often over the very subject we're so passionate about. And that leads us to the boldest and gutsiest part of the film, the decision to not depict all Black Americans as saintly victims under the oppression of racism, both institutionalized and cultural. Usually when there's a work about racism in America out of Hollywood, the narrative is boiled down to hateful people oppressing people that don't deserve it. We're shown ignorant people who only need to know that a person looks differently, and that's all the reasoning required for those beasts. The movies of today are supremely guilty of this concerning protected classes. The victims never have any flaws. Nowadays, the oppressed class is even powerful along with being flawless, but are somehow still victims in a very shallow narrative. American History X tells you several times that the two main characters, Derek and Danny, have high IQs. And they don't show them reacting to the color of other characters' skin. They show them reacting to or describing the negative actions of Black and brown people. From the macro of a criminal element affecting an entire neighborhood to the micro of just one loved one losing his life, it being taken by a Black person while doing his job. American History X dared to confront the arguments of informed white men, not the standard Hollywood depiction of slack-jawed rednecks in the American South. There was even dialogue to the effect to separate Derek from the Ku Klux Klan.
Respect that authority.
Look who's talking about respect here, Mr. Junior KKK.
What?
Hey,
What? You know what? You want to go to college, Davina? You should learn to listen.
Derek.
Okay? I didn't say I respect
Derek.
laws. I acknowledge a cop's authority. I don't respect any laws that let monkeys like Rodney King back on the street. But second of all, I am not, as you well know, a member of a low-rent, disorganized bunch of rednecks like the fucking KKK. Please. So take your head out of your ass. I mean, you've gotten off the point.
Now, this is bold for two reasons. One, the obvious is that anything more nuanced will force the viewer to think. Asking the masses to think is always a bold move. But the second reason is this. Perhaps a white person watching American History X would hear the arguments for the first time, said out loud in a movie anyway, and sway them the wrong way. A movie trying to explain that the argument is more nuanced runs the risk of being over the head of the simple. I've said for decades that the classic American television show All in the Family is popular for all the wrong reasons. To many people, Archie Bunker is the hero and not the butt of the joke. Maybe this is why it's so tempting for people to get emotionally non-communicative about these things. Just burn my struggle and avoid the whole conversation. Rational viewer, I'm here to tell you, you can burn all the books you want. If we don't have real principle-based discussions backed up by principle-based actions about whatever it is we're talking about, someone's just gonna write a new evil book. You don't ban hate speech. You live in such a way that makes the hate speech look as dumb and impractical as it is. Then you let the masses choose. Remember this line from Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight?
Okay, fine. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
If your grand plan to combat evil is to try to silence the other side, congratulations. You just became the villain. Don't believe me? For more than 8 weeks before the November elections, all media sources, both left and right, reported that the Democrat and Republican nominees were in a too close to call dead heat for the presidency. Only for the Republican candidate not just to win, but win in a landslide. How could those media outlets be so wrong, even the one for the winning candidate? I'll tell you how. There were a whole bunch of people that they stopped listening to, labeling them evil. Those silenced people, they decided to do all their talking at the poll. Which brings me to my last point. Another theme of American History X is that all of these bad actors, no matter what color they were, acted the way they did because of the lack of a father. There's dialogue to the effect given to Beverly D'Angelo's character, Doris, the mother of Derek and Danny. So after American History X dared to confront the arguments of informed white men, even if they are racist, its plot twist was to lay the blame at the feet of men, be they racist white fathers or absentee Black ones. Talk about painting with a broad brush. So, rational viewer, I ask you, in culture and from your perspective, who who are the evil people now? Whoever your answer is, I challenge you not to ignore what they have to say. I'm Odium. Come back for the next reaction.